Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do the NRL weekly report again. Starting up. Game 3 Origin is happening next Wednesday. So we're coming up to Game 3 Origin. It's a decider. 2019 Game 3 decider. It's very exciting. I just listened to Freddie and the Eighth. The YouTube podcast, or I don't know what they call it, YouTube video that Brad Fittler and Andrew Johns do about the games each week. Round 15 or round 16, I think it was. 20 minutes of absolute delightful friggin' listening. Corbin Sims is out. Is it Corbin or one of the Sims brothers is out because of the judiciary went against him, and so David Clemmer is back into the New South Wales team. I think that's good anyway. David Clemmer's probably better. They're both good, but I think David Clemmer, he's just got those big legs that lift up and push through the line. But Sims, he's a great player as well. It's a shame he's out, but Clemmer will definitely do the job just as well. We've also got, just before that I watched, not while I was driving, before I got in the car, the interview with Mitchell Pearce, who has just been told he is on for Game 3 as Cleary is out. Cleary's ruled out, he's injured. So the number seven is Pearce. So Pearce and Maloney, I think that's just strengthening the team. Clemmer in and Pearce in is just strengthening the team again. I think at home we're looking very good. Man, you can never be overconfident though. Never be smart ass. Never write Queensland off. They are going to be absolutely playing out of their skins. Queensland will play off the charts, so we're going to have to match them and do better. We're going to have to be. This game is just going to skyrocket. It's going to lift the roof. We had the game one. Game 1, Queensland played like absolute maniacs. They just dominated. The scoreline, I think, didn't really represent the game. Andrew John said in his Immortal Behaviour podcast, or whatever it is on YouTube, that New South were in the game to the final bit, and we were fighting and haggling, but Queensland, if you watch that game, Queensland really controlled the game the whole way through. They were more energetic, they were stronger, they were just better. More energy. The crowd was an extra player on the field. They were just outstanding. And in the second game, we really turned that around, and New South Wales just dominated and played out of their skins. And Queensland just couldn't get in the game. I don't think it's that Queensland didn't play well or didn't bring it. New South just clicked. You had scenes like Ponga, the ball bouncing the wrong way for Ponga. The ball always bounces the right way for Ponga. That never happens. Ponga just gets the bounce every time. Ponga, players who should be getting the ref calls didn't get the ref calls. Queensland, they didn't get any luck. We got all the luck. We got all the calls. We got all the bounce. We just had great runs. We played out of our skins. Just everything went in our favour. And the score line really did show that. It was a bit of a blowout, but we just had a fantastic game. By we, I mean in New South Wales, by the way, in case you were wondering. So in this third game of the decider, let's hope that both teams fire, and it is a fantastic game. If both teams fire, this will be the game of the century. As is every goddamn State of Origin game, but the last two games were just great displays of each team winning. We've seen each team win really nicely. Now we want to see each team boosh. Both teams fire at the same time, and we just want to see a fantastic game. That is the goal, and hopefully that happens. I think Melbourne are playing Dragons this week. Pretty sure Melbourne will win it. The Dragons are missing the two halves, as both their halves are in the state of origin for Queensland. You know, that'll be hard to recover from. And although Melbourne are missing Munster, they got Brodie Croft. They've still got their fullback. They've still got Cameron Smith. They got their forward pack are the full New Zealand forward pack. I mean, you know, playing a team who are missing their two state of origin halfbacks. I mean, that's, you know, Dragons, if you can pull that one off, mate, hats off. That'd be awesome, but you'd have to tip Melbourne. The other game, I think, was Sydney Roosters v Tigers, and that'll be a really great game because Luke Keary's back, Cronk's there, Warrior Hargraves is back, Tedesco's missing. I think they're missing a couple of players, but also I think Latrell Mitchell is not in the state of origin team, so he's playing. But Tigers have got Benji Marshall, Robbie Farah. They're pretty much a full strength team. I think they're missing one of their guys to state of origin, but I reckon that'll be a really good game. I'm pretty sure Roosters will get there. I'd be tipping the Roosters, but man, Benji Marshall knows how to win, and so does Robbie Farah. Those two guys know how to steer a team to a win, and they will be in there. That'll be the game of the week, I reckon. I can't remember what the other games are. Warriors are playing someone. Broncos are playing. Probably the Warriors. I don't know who the Broncos are playing, but the Broncos are struggling. Everyone keeps talking about Darius Boyd, right? Giving him a hard time and stuff. The way I see it is, he's just playing the same game he's always played. He's not a really offensive fullback. He's a defensive fullback. He's a big body who's a fantastic defender. That's his job. He never said, he scores a couple of tries here and there. He has great go forward. He gives the team good go forward up the middle. He's a great defender. That's why Bennett liked him so much, because he's a defensive fullback. That's what he's always done. That's what he's still doing. People saying he's a little bit off. Maybe he's a little bit off, but he's pretty much still playing the same game he's always played. Like, seriously, what the hell? Everyone's got to get off his back. The guy's done 300 fucking games in the NRL. He's just doing his job. I don't know. It's not his fault the team's losing. They got teenage halfbacks, they got really young forwards. All these guys are going to be future rep players, but right now they're still young players. And in the NRL, they're halfway through a season in the NRL with a bunch of young players. This is not going to be their year. I know we said it was going to be their year, but well, I never said that. You got a bunch of young players. I don't care how talented they are. You're coming up against hardened fucking men who've been in the NRL for 5 years. If you got a young team, you got a couple of young players, it's okay. But if you got a team full of young players, what do you expect? Now, I really like Seguiaro. Seguiaro is a winner, and he's an experienced, hardened NRL player. But he's been out for a little while, and he's going to have to build his resilience back up and his fitness. But they're going to struggle. Plus, they're missing 3 or 4 bloody State of Origin players. So, you know, but that's just Brisbane's year every friggin' year. We've gotten rid of a bunch of experienced players and we've taken on a bunch of young players. So I don't see it being our year. And I've said for a couple of years we're looking towards 2020. That's where we're heading. Nothing's changed. Fucking settle down, everyone. No one can be at the top every year. It's, you know, unless you're Melbourne Storm, I suppose. But the fact is, this is the NRL, and people do not accept excuses. Doesn't matter. If you pick a team that's not going to win, you've picked a team that's not developing for the next 4 years away. Isn't you got to do a bit of long-term thinking, but you've also got to think in the year, this year. And they haven't done that. They've missed that a little bit. So, but you know, we've lost Jimmy the Jet. You know, everyone's giving Darius a hard time. But we could bounce back at any moment. We're the sort of team that can we could beat the best team in the comp if we have a good night. The other big thing, you want to blame the players, that's one thing, but Seaboyd's the coach. He's the one who's got to make this shit work. So he's got all the resources of the best team, one of the best teams. He's got to make it work. But I think they'll pull together eventually, but the NRL doesn't give you time. NRL will tear your pants down and spank you on the bottom if you are not performing. And that's where they're at right now. So anyway, that's the NRL Weekly Report with ANdi COleman. Go fuck yourself.
Je n'avais jamais ôté mon chapeau devant personne.